WWE Smackdown review for the November 7th episode of Smackdown. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling podcast. As always, cheers. Talk about some wrestling, huh?
Yeah, before we go any farther, make sure to like and share this video because, admittedly, we try to be as positive as we can be. And sometimes that is just plain hard.
Not a great episode of Smackdown. We're just going to come out and say it right away, but it was still fun watching with all of you guys on our live stream. It's always fun in there. YouTube.com/COD WrestlePod. Come join our Smackdown Raw and PLE live streams because even if the episode isn't good, the live stream is. But let's get into this thing because Cody Rhodes would start the show. Cody Rhodes starts the show after Saturday Night Main Event. He did defeat Drew McIntyre. Obviously, Drew introduced the title to the ring, and Cody did his thing, and he used the title, and he won. And he made sure to talk about that right away. He said that Drew brought the title into the match because he thought that Cody Rhodes has been reluctant in the past to use that, use that to his advantage. Well, he wasn't reluctant this time, and he pulled the trigger. He got the win. So now he's moving on. And his moving on tonight, he wants to figure out who's going to be up next. So he said, I'm going to join you guys, the crowd. I'm going to join you fans. I'm going to sit here and watch SmackDown with you. And we're going to figure out together who should be next for this title. Well, before he got to the crowd, Aleister Black shows up with Zelina. They don't do their spooky entrance. They kind of just walk out. Aleister Black says he's got a chip on his shoulder the size of the WWE Championship. And Cody immediately starts taking off his tie and he's ready to square up. Well, he turns and Zelina's there in between him and Aleister Black. And Zelina says, we're about to introduce you to your true nightmare. And then Nick Aldis comes out and says, she smacks him. And she smacks him. Sorry. She smacks him and Cody, he gets mad, but he's not going to hit Zelina. But before anything can happen, Nick Aldis is out there and Nick Aldis says, you two obviously are mad. We're going to wrestle tonight. So that will be our main event. That was it. So it's not a championship match. It's just a singles match between Cody and Aleister Black. Very simple promo here. Nothing, no meat, no nothing. I'm going to drop it.
Well, since you're going to drop it, I'll pop it. It's a slight one. And I'm not popping it for the execution. The execution I thought was pretty poor all around. But I'm going to pop it because I do like that Cody at least talked about, hey, I was hesitant in the past, but now I wasn't hesitant. I do like that. And you got a new challenger in Aleister Black, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt here. Even if I'm not fully bought in on it, it's okay. You got to have something out there, so I'll do it. But it's like, if this was like a scale to 100 and it was like 50-50, I'd go 51% pop. It's not much of one.
I liked, I would have given it a pop if they did anything of meeting without, Aleister Black should have come out and made a statement of some sort. Because I am down for Aleister Black, confronting Cody Rhodes. We always talk about how we need new talent in that main event area. So Aleister Black, sure, that sounds cool. But he comes out and he's just like, well, I got a chip on my shoulder. And it's like, do you speak like that? Why are you speaking like that? So they had a chance to make a statement with him. And he comes out and kind of just says nothing. And I was like, this is meaningless. This does nothing for anybody in the ring.
Yeah, like I said, it's not much of one. Give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll try to be positive here. It's probably an artificial pop because there's a lot worse to come.
I think we spent more time talking about it than it lasted. So let's move it on. Ilya Open Challenge. He's got his U.S. title, and he's going to entertain us with pain. And before he walked out to the ring, Tama Tonga did look him in the eye and give him a good old yeah. So that's coming down the line. Well, who's going to be the Open Challenge person to this week? Well, Tommaso Ciampa comes out with DIY, meaning Gargano and Candice LeRae behind him. And Ciampa says that he's mad because Ilya called him a jackass, and nobody calls him a jackass. So he gets in the ring and says, this jackass wants that title now. And Ilya says, you know what? You are a jackass. And because you're a jackass, he gets a title shot. He points to Gargano. And Gargano's like, well, I don't know what to do, man. I'm sorry, but he picked me. So I guess I'm going to have to fight him for that title. Match starts and Ciampa does stick around for 1 second to cheat at the beginning of the match, so Gargano gets the advantage at the beginning, but then he just leaves. He's not even there for his boy at all. This match was actually great. It's another one of the Open Challenge matches just haven't missed between Sammy and Ilya. They just flat out haven't missed. They put two great people in the ring consistently, and they give consistent matches with consistent time lengths too, so where they can cook. And this was great. Johnny Gargano did this kick to the back of Ilya's head at one point. It looked like he just absolutely kicked this guy as hard as he could in the back of the head. It was absolutely great. We would have Candice LeRae, though, pulling Ilya to the outside of the ring at one point, and Gargano did like a suicide into a DDT, kind of what Dom does on the outside. Then he hit him with a tornado DDT on the inside and got the 1-2. Ooh. But eventually, Ilya Gargano's on the apron, and Ilya picks this man up and is able to superplex him off the top rope from the apron. Yeah. And then he rolls up, hits him with an H-bomb. 1, 2, 3. Ilya gets the win over Gargano, which is some really good stuff. I will go ahead and pop that.
Yeah, very Cesaro or Claudio-esque with that, right? I'm going to pop this as well. I'm not going to spend too much time going over it because it's an open challenge match. As you said, all the open challenge matches have been fantastic. I guess we'll just wait and see when he allows Ciampa to come after that title, but we're going to continue to get Ilya open challenge matches, and they're going to be the best part of SmackDown.
Yeah, the best part of SmackDown is literally whatever this open challenge is. It looks like we're going to do Ciampa and at least a Tama Tonga coming up. So those should be two good matches, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't really need story around it. The matches are good enough for my liking, to be honest with you. We did go backstage, and Nick Aldis is talking to Sami Zayn, and Sami's pissed at the MFTs, and he wants to go out there because Rey Fenix has a match against Tala Tonga tonight. He wants to be there for him, and Nick Aldis said, well, you're not cleared, therefore you can't go out. I'm telling you no. And Sami Zayn says, well, I'm not just going to stand by and do nothing if something bad happens. So he's giving Aldis a warning. And then Ron Cena walks in. And this is Ron Cena. This is R-Truth with the hat, the John Cena hat. He's got John Cena's headband around his neck. He's got the armband, and he hands Nick Aldis his balls. And that's what he does. And he tells Nick Aldis, I want to give you my balls. That's what he says. And Nick Aldis is like, your name's already in the damn thing, right? There's the tumbler's right there. You can see it. Your name's already in it. And then Ron Cena looks at him and takes his balls back, and he says, well, I don't even want you to handle my balls anymore. And then he leaves. Funny. It was good stuff. Nothing?
I mean, yeah.
Hey.
I mean, it's one of the highlights of this week.
Like I said, I mean, the more we get to dive.
One of the highlights.
Not going to say anything else. Jade Cargill, she beat Tiffany Stratton at Saturday Night Main Event, right? So what is she going to do? Well, she makes her first entrance as champion. She looks like an absolute badass with that title. Just at the least, looking at her, yeah, title fits. It's awesome. She walks in the ring, she grabs the mic, and she says, I'm that bitch. And she drops the mic and she leaves. And on her way out, though, Charlotte has a match. So Charlotte and Alexa come out for their match. And Jade stops, and she doesn't just stare down Charlotte. She starts talking mad crap to Charlotte, to the point where Charlotte is still walking down the ramp, and she's screaming at her. And Charlotte turns around and wants to square up, and Alexa has to like wrangle her back in. This combined with, we did get a backstage segment where Jade and B-Fab got into it. Jade actually scared off Chelsea Green. There was Misha in there. She's kind of just being the big bad bully. Jade has made herself known. She is that B. And she ain't scared of anybody, and I loved it. Popping it.
Yeah, we didn't really need a long, lengthy promo here. I think it works for the character-wise of her being the bully. I also think it works in terms of protecting Jade's promo ability. So this character that they're coming up with Jade to be this bully, like, hey, if you want to step up and get stepped on, that's her like little catchphrase she's using. You sign me up for that. So I don't really need a ton in terms of the promo ability. If she can just go out there and continue to kind of dominate like she did Tiffany Stratton to B-Fab next week, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm down for this. I think that this is exactly what you should do. Jade's been known to be a little bit rough on the microphone. Just have her do this. Have her squash people. Have her squash the B-Fabs and Mishins of the world. No, I'm not saying that in terms of like taking advantage of Mishin and B-Fab. Like, I understand they're good talents, but there's an overarching story to be told here, which is Jade being just unstoppable. Have her come out, cut short promos, get quick to the point. I'm that woman. Ain't nobody beating me. And we're going to build Big Jade up, and eventually we're going to have to build an awesome face to fight that big heel. So I'm looking forward to the story overall with Jade. I think it's good. We would move on, though, because Charlotte Flair would have a match versus Nia Jax. Of course, Alexa's there. But this is good. Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair, obviously, they have a storied past, and they always do this thing where Charlotte is just as strong as Nia, but Nia is always just a little bit more strong than Charlotte, which is really good storytelling. I like that a lot. We would get back and forth throughout the match. They spilled out to the outside of the ring. Nia threw off barricades and all this stuff. Charlotte hit a top rope moonsault. Nia hit sit-down power bombs. We're getting big moves from all of them. But all of a sudden, we cut to the outside where Alexa's chilling. And Lash Legend is there. She jumps over the barricade and she puts Alexa Bliss in a sleeper hold and is throwing her around like she's Chris Masters doing the Master Lock, where he used to pick people up and just yoink them around the ring. She's destroying Alexa. Of course, Charlotte in the ring's like, oh my God, what's happening to my friend? Nia takes advantage of this, hits the Annihilator onto Charlotte Flair and gets the win. Lash Legend has made her, she's back. She's teaming up with Nia Jax. I actually like this stuff. I'll pop it.
Yeah, I'll give it a pop and a drop. I'll pop the Lash Legend stuff. Maybe we're a little bit higher on it, but I'll just drop the match overall. Nothing really to write home about. Also, I didn't get to watch half of it because of the screen being blacked out because of the wardrobe malfunctions that continue to happen. So I was just like, okay, it was hard for me at that point to kind of get invested into the match. You've seen the Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax matches before, and that's what this was.
Yeah, we also had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss backstage after this in the medical tent or facility, wherever. They're at the back getting treated by a doctor. And then all of a sudden there was a different doctor and he pulled down his mask. Well, it was Asuka. And Asuka had the miss and she misted Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss at the same time. She somehow got both of them at once. So we're also leading to that. So I do like this because we have talked about it for years that like the women's tag team championships have gotten no love. Now it feels like they're getting all the love in the world. That almost the entire women's division is wrapped around some sort of tag team action right now. Rhea and Io, Lash and Nia now, Charlotte and Alexa, Nikki and Steph, Raquel and Roxanne. The list goes on and on and on. So I'm not necessarily popping this all because of the Lash Legend re-debut or whatever, teaming up with Nia. It's just like, wow, the women's tag division is pretty exciting. So
yeah, they've almost course corrected. I would say almost probably too much because like you have the IC title that I know Maxine's just waiting, I guess, but then you have the women's US title, which we'll get to here in a minute. Yeah. And then you also have the main titles, which I know they're starting something with Jade here and they kind of started something with Steph, but for a long time there, you're kind of just like, all right, we're just going to hang out and wait. So it's almost like a course corrected too much. We still have to wait on Rhea and Io. But if you get good moments like this with Asuka and stuff, like there's moments like that you can point to that you're like, you know what, I'm liking this.
Agreed. We would then get our two matches that are going to happen next week for the John Cena Tour tournament, not tour. But first one, we have The Miz taking on Jey Uso, John Cena farewell tournament. Who wins that one?
Yeah, I'm going Jey Uso on this one. I don't think that it's very close. I think there might be some sort of Carmelo Hayes interference as well. Not that Jey really needs it, but in terms of what do you have Miz do, I guess maybe Carmelo Hayes interferes and helps Jey get the win. I don't really need Jey in the tournament here as a whole, but that's what we got.
I'm very sad to say Jey Uso is going to win this one. The Miz cut a fiery promo here tonight where he was like, I beat John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania. Our match should be inevitable. It shouldn't be I have to go through a tournament. Couldn't agree with him more. We're not going to get The Miz versus John Cena on this farewell tour, it looks like, which is extremely disappointing. But Jey Uso, man, I mean, he doesn't lose to basically anybody. So it feels like that no matter what the story around The Miz is going into the match, Jey Uso is probably just going to get the win here. Second one, though, we have a question mark. LA Knight versus a surprise entrance in the John Cena tournament. Who do we think it's going to be?
Yeah, you got to think at least some way, somehow it's somebody from NXT. So I guess we will wait for the entrance, which maybe gives away your pick. But I'm going with Obafemi on this one. I know that you don't think that that's the case, but I have Obafemi coming up anyway onto the SmackDown side of things. They don't really seem to be treating LA Knight the best, so I could see that happening. Do I really want that to happen? It'd be cool for Oba, bad for LA Knight. Not saying I want that to happen, but I could see it happening.
I think LA Knight's going to get a win next week. And the way I think he's going to get a win is because I think we are going to say his name and he appears. It will be Joe Hendry who will be showing up to fight LA Knight. I think we'll get a good pop moment when we have Joe Hendry's music hit. I think it would be a really cool gimmick versus gimmick, like Joe Hendry and LA Knight interacting would be a lot of fun. And then at the end of the day, LA Knight can finally get a freaking win because WWE refuses to give him one and he can move on in the tournament to probably face a Jey Uso. But we shall see next week. We will move on though, because it was a U.S. title match. Julia with Kiana James against Chelsea with Alba Fire, but also in the front row was her NXT partner, AAA mixed tag champion partner, Ethan Page. He was watching Chelsea Green in this match, and this match lasted about that long.
Yeah, you didn't have to watch much.
In the stream, we were still talking about the John Cena farewell tour matches, the tournament, and all of a sudden you see Kiana James pull Chelsea Green out of the ring, and then Alba Fire walks up and she gets involved in all of it, and Chelsea somehow skedaddles back into the ring. Sorry if I'm not doing it justice, because we literally were not, it was so fast we didn't even catch it all the way. But all of a sudden, Chelsea Green rolls up Julia. 1, 2, 3.
Foot on the ropes.
Foot on the ropes too.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea Green steals the United States Championship from Julia. She celebrates with Ethan Page. The Secret Service has their champion back, and I couldn't be happier, honestly. I'm popping it.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you want to do this. I think it depends on if you want to be excited, because Chelsea Green now has the title back, and she's been the best women's champion with that U.S. title. She's maximized the minutes. They haven't really given it a lot of time, and she's able to do great things. Everybody knows how great Chelsea is. Or you can look at it on the flip side and say, well, this Julia run was the worst one that they've had so far with that U.S. title. Not only did they not give her enough time, they didn't give her really any substance. They didn't give her really any opponents. And then they topped it off with a cherry on top to have kind of a humiliating, I would say, win here by Chelsea, which works for the Chelsea character. Julia, we'll see what happens. Maybe she can go away for a couple weeks. Maybe she just kind of distances herself from Kiana James, and she comes back, and maybe we take her a little bit more serious.
Yeah, I like this because I love Chelsea Green. I think that U.S. title has been booked absolutely terribly, even with a great Julia. I think WWE has failed Julia ever since they wanted to put that strap on her in the first place. This is not Julia's fault. That's WWE's booking of it. The second they made Kiana James a mouthpiece, it all went downhill. Terrible idea. So in my opinion, it's great that you go back to what you know works, which is Chelsea Green with that United States Championship. We know how entertaining she is. We know that she doesn't need to keep it for very long. So you can give it back to Chelsea, get some entertainment around that title, and then hopefully you can reset Julia to where she comes back better than ever and actually get her doing something of purpose. So I'm looking forward to all of it.
Yeah, and Chelsea, I can't wait for these because obviously Chelsea is Canadian, but she has the U.S. title, and then she has a Mexico title as well. Her gear was Mexico themed tonight, so I'm sure she's going to be unbearable, but for the better.
Yeah, and then she's going to be on NXT. It's going to be a lot of exposure for that title. So are you popping it or dropping it?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Both.
I kind of agree with you. I'm going to throw an artificial drop in there because Julia does deserve better. But I do love Chelsea being champion. We would have Solo. He's mad at Wyatt Six, Sammy, and Ilya, and they're going to take care of Rey Fenix tonight. The Wyatt Six were going to attack, but they said not yet because they're the Wyatt Six. We moved on, though, to that match. It was Rey Fenix taking on Tala Tonga. Motor City Machine Guns and Shinsuke Nakamura attacked the MFT, the rest of the MFT except for Solo, during the entrance of this match, like as they were entrance. So there goes everybody but Solo and Tala Tonga. Tala gets to fight his match against Rey. Rey tries to capitalize on this, but Tala's Tala, so he's getting his butt whooped for most of this match. Solo's on the outside cheering him on. You would have Rey Fenix have a little bit of gusto toward the end. He hits his goodbye amigo kick, and he hits a frog splash to Tala while Tala's standing up, and Tala eats it, gets the 1-2 ooh, which is pretty nice. But Tala's huge, and he's not supposed to lose to guys like Rey Fenix, so he power slams him, and then he picks him up, does a great choke slam. Tala Tonga, A1 choke slam. I do like that, his choke slam. Tala wins it, but of course, Solo and Tala have to attack afterward, which means Sami Zayn is here. Sami Zayn comes out with a chair, and he scares him away. And that's how we do it. We had Tala Tonga win. Sami Zayn saved Rey Fenix. I'm not invested very much in this story. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give it a drop because I think everybody involved should be doing something better. I'm just not down for this story. I'm going to drop it.
Yeah, I'm going to drop this as well, and I don't think it's really close. I feel like you were fighting there. I don't think it's that close.
Yeah.
I'm to the point now, Rey Fenix, some way, somehow, go be with Penta.
Yep.
They've done really nothing for Rey, and I know some of that's out of his control. He does put on good matches when he's in the ring, but like you said, there's no substance, really. Tala Tonga, I'm supposed to get this impression that he's like this giant that could just destroy people, but he also gets beat up a lot for being a giant, and he's not really believable to me. It's like the MFT. Like, yeah, they're kind of all jokes. At the end of the day, they'll get the win. The MFT stuff I'm not into. The Wyatt Six stuff beforehand I'm not into. The Motor City, the Shinsuke, the Rey Fenix, all of it I'm just sitting there like, Yeah, this is like 20 minutes that I don't need on the TV.
Yeah, what's going on? Because we have Sami Zayn, who literally just put more stock in that U.S. title than it's had in years, in my opinion. He started the Open Challenge where he put on, I think it was 6 or 7 absolute 4 to 5 star bangers every single week. It looked like he had all the momentum in the world. And he had people who weren't big Sami Zayn fans becoming big Sami Zayn fans, like me and you. We were very critical of him before it, but we're at least more in the middle with him now. We're not as negative. We're positive on him, right? And now he's being the guy who's coming out to help Rey Fenix fight Solo and Tala Tonga. It just feels like this is a cluttered mess. Like, what is Motor City Machine Guns doing here? Why are we getting away from the coolness, which was the SmackDown Tag Division doing crazy awesome matches with big time stipulations? Why are we getting away from that to do this type of stuff with the Wyatt Six having the belts and they're just kind of stalking people? It just feels like a big jumbled mess with some people like Solo and Sammy and guys like Rey Fenix who should be doing great stuff that are now just in this web of nonsense of not entertaining stuff. So it's just ugh.
Yeah. I mean, you answered the question that they gave the Wyatts the titles, and then it's all kind of gone to crap, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Tag division isn't really exciting. MFT for, I guess, maybe like a month ago, I was kind of bought back in, like, okay, cool. They seem legit with this, like legit face paint, obviously, right? And people outside that are fans of them outside of WWE know kind of what their history is and the legacy they have outside WWE. JC Mateo is also in that. He has nothing. He's got no stock. So MFT right now is back to being the MFT Bloodline 2.0 that nobody really cares about. The whole tag division stuff, the whole SmackDown tag division, I'm just kind of out on. Even when we do get random matches that I'm like, oh, this should be a good match, I'm not invested in them. I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
You took apart that it was the U.S. Challenge, Open Challenge before the U.S. Open Challenge. Like, every week on SmackDown, you could pencil in a 20 to 30 minute, hey, this match is going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. I care about this tag division. And that's just gone.
It was fun watching the titles hot potato. And us all just getting awesome ladder matches and stuff around those titles. Like, that was the fun part. And now that part's gone. You're trying to throw tag teams into the mix with solo guys. And it just doesn't, it's not mixing well. We don't need to hammer this home anymore. Then we would get that Miz promo that I was talking about. He does say that he made Mello relevant, so him and Mello are still doing his thing. But man, oh man, when the Miz gets going, he is still that dude, because he brought up he beat Cena in the main event, and he is pissed off that he has to even be in a tournament to have a match that should be inevitable with John Cena. And he ends it by saying, I beat John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania, and I will beat John Cena in the final match of his career and retire him. I mean, fiery promo. Miz is just A1, dude. I get that he's a vet and we have young guys that need stuff done, but the Miz should still be doing some more work. Ugh, love that man. We'll move on to our main event, though. We would get Cody Rhodes taking on Aleister Black. Of course, Aleister came out with Zelina Vega. Aleister Black and Cody Rhodes put on a good 10-minute scrap here. It was pretty good stuff. We would have Zelina cheating, obviously. That's what she does. She cheats to get Aleister Black the advantage, but Cody was doing Cody cutters and disaster kicks, and Aleister Black was doing his suplexes and his kicks. It was all good stuff until randomly they both ran off the ropes, collided. They're on the mat. The ref's like, okay, what am I doing here? Well, the crowd starts looking away, and all of a sudden you see a huge man in all white claymore the hell out of the ref. And it was Drew McIntyre, because this was the same ref in the Saturday night main event, or the match versus Cody. And he thinks that the ref screwed him. So he's punching the ref and he's holding up to his face. You screwed me. You're a part of this. Well, Cody is not going to let that happen. So Cody tries to take out Drew, get him off the ref because he's killing a ref. Aleister Black obviously gets up and he starts to help Drew McIntyre. So they're stomping out Cody Rhodes. Well, Damian Priest now comes out because that's Aleister Black. So Damian Priest starts to take out Aleister Black.
And he's boys with Cody.
Yeah, and he's boys with Cody. It's
more so Aleister Black, but
yeah, it's Wepa time, right? So he goes out. They spill to the outside. They, meaning Aleister Black and Damian Priest. But before Damian Priest has a minute to put Aleister Black through the announce table, Zelina jumps on Aleister Black, Zelina jumps on Damian Priest. I mean, she probably does that too. But which gives Aleister Black time to rake Damian Priest's eyes. That's how the episode's going. We have to just go off on tangents on our own. So Aleister Black rakes Damian Priest's eyes, and then Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, they just skedaddle away, right? Well, Cody Rhodes is able to get what he did. Was it a Cody Cutter? He had a Cody cutter.
Yeah, he did hit a Cody cutter.
He had a Cody cutter in the ring on.
This is how checked out I was at this point, but it was a Cody cutter. Yes.
He Cody cutter Drew McIntyre in the ring, and then all of a sudden you hear Nick Aldis on the mic, and Nick Aldis is on the mic, and he's like, "I've had enough of this, Drew. You're suspended." And Drew goes up to the ramp, and he starts to argue with Nick Aldis, and we fade to black. So SmackDown ends with shenanigans. Drew McIntyre hits a ref, knocks a ref out, beats him up, and it ends with Nick Aldis giving him a big-time suspension. So it looks like Drew's suspended, which means, will he be a part of the Cena tournament? Will he still be going after Cody? Bunch of questions at the end of SmackDown. And I'm dropping it. Like, this was a big dud to me, especially when the director, or not the directors, it pops up with Triple H's name. Like, that's how you know we're going to black. I was like, seriously? This is how we're going to black with just him and Nick Aldis arguing on the ramp? And it fades out. I'm dropping it, man. That's not how you capitalize off of what Drew's been doing lately.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually double drop this one.
Ooh.
I got to make sure we get.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not
allowed. The first ever double drop.
That's not enough, to be honest.
We get to make the rules.
With how bad this was. The match, it was fine, I guess. I wasn't really kind of invested in it anyway, to be honest. Like I said, I kind of gave the promo kind of a pass earlier in the night, but also at the same time, I'm kind of just like, it is what it is. It's whatever. You have Damian Priest run out, which is kind of inevitable with the Aleister Black stuff, which expect Aleister Black on Monday to end up costing Damian Priest. So there's that. You look at Cody Rhodes. I feel bad for Cody because, man, it's not all his fault because this is just bad writing altogether. Drew McIntyre gets suspended. That's the other drop right there. People tune in for Drew McIntyre. I mean, we had him going to the final of the John Cena tournament. Spoiler, if you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. But he's somebody that people can at least get behind, somebody that, hey, this person should be doing much more, kind of in an LA Knight boat in terms of like, when's it going to be Drew's time? When's it going to be Drew's time? Well, now you suspend him, and it's like, okay, so now, at least if you look at the Cody Rhodes side of things, like, there's nobody kind of there for Cody Rhodes, right? Like, Drew's suspended. Who knows how long that's going to be? I'm assuming he's going to make an appearance still some way, somehow. But as a whole, it's not enough substance. It's a dud drop. It's bad altogether to a bad episode. I mean, this episode was one of the worst ones of the year. And then you end on suspending Drew McIntyre. I don't have any investment in terms of like, yeah, let me watch to see why I know why he's suspended, but like, let me watch and see what happens next with Drew McIntyre. Like, it kills it for me. Yeah.
In terms of the Damian Priest, Aleister Black stuff, expected. That's kind of how I'd put it. It's expected. I do really hope that they call up Lola. It looks like Zelina is getting more and more on Damian Priest's nerves. So my hope there is we get a Lola call up and we get some sort of mixed tag team match. I'd be very much down for that. So that is what it is. Man, oh man, this Drew McIntyre stuff, man. You talk about a guy who should 100% be yo-yoing that title back and forth with Cody Rhodes. They should be tug-of-warring that belt every PLE right now. SmackDown's got nothing in the main title scene of SmackDown right now. It is Cody Rhodes and it is Drew McIntyre. And to have the story be Drew beating up on a ref because he's been screwed again. I mean, there's no character development for Drew in the past year and a half. All it's been is the I'm screwed thing. And he's doing the best work that he can with it because he's so incredible. But now we're doing the suspension angle, which means he's inevitably going to be away from Cody Rhodes. Probably he'll show up on SmackDown here and there, but I don't know if we're going to get much physical interaction between the two of them. It's just delaying in my opinion. And the writing right now, just overall in SmackDown's main event scene, is bad. And I don't think it's Cody's fault, and I don't think it's Drew's fault. I don't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say the main event scene. It's just SmackDown as a whole. I mean, there is a reason the Jey Uso match gets announced for SmackDown next week. There's a reason the LA Knight match gets announced for SmackDown next week because they need something to get people tuned in. You got to drag some people from Raw, obviously, to do that. The talent discrepancy, Raw is miles. Not only is the talent, I think, better on Raw, but the writing is actually better on Raw.
Yes.
SmackDown right now, yeah, okay, you got some pieces, but they've got no real story. There's no real direction. It's all just kind of meh. Like, you look at it in the end of it, and you're like, man, I just sat around for 2 hours on my Friday night, and I watched that, it doesn't really make you feel good.
Yeah, we really try to be positive, and in most of our reviews of the episodes, we give almost every episode a pop, even if most Smackdowns probably don't deserve the pop. It's just we love pro wrestling, and so we're happy to watch it. We're happy to watch it with all of you guys. But man, oh man, this Smackdown was just a conglomeration of all the problems that they've had recently, all in one episode. There really wasn't a win here. I mean, we're gonna take away the Jade stuff as a win because we kind of like that, but I can definitely see how other people would hate that. Like
or the Ilya. That's probably your only.
Yeah, like that's that sort of stuff, right? 100%. And it just feels like they don't have any sort of coherent story that they want to tell and can get to. It really does feel like they get to SmackDown and they kind of just write it. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to throw all these people out there for the SmackDown tag / MFT stuff. We're going to throw them out there to the wind. Ilya will fight one of the DIY members tonight, and that'll be fine enough. What are we gonna do with Cody? Well, we need to do Cody and Drew. How are we gonna do it? We'll just throw Cody in there with Aleister Black for a little bit of time, but then we're just gonna revert back to where we were before the event even happened. There was no Aleister Cody movement. We're not gonna get anything new with Aleister Black after this to put him in the main event scene. That's just going to be reverted back to the Damian Priest stuff. Now we're going right back to this exact story we just told with Drew and Cody. They don't have any through line. They don't have any end point. It's just throw it out weekly to me.
Yeah, and that was my question, I guess, or not question, but that's the point. Like, you have Aleister Black and you're like, okay, I'll give it a chance. And that's why I kind of gave it a pop in the beginning. I'll give it a chance. Things have been rough. We'll give it a chance and see how it goes. And then, like you said, you take it away and you're just like, okay, well, now there's like, because I'm assuming Cody next week's going to come out and be like, hey, Nick, you shouldn't have suspended Drew. I want Drew reinstated. Like, and then it's all.
Yeah, I feel like we could sit here and just ramble about it because, and the more we ramble, the more negative we're going to get. We gave this 8 pops, 2 9 drops. This will be a dropped episode of SmackDown.
It's not even an 8 to 9. It's probably like
the drops are a lot louder than the pops.
It's like a 4 to. Well, what would that be? 13, I guess.
Yeah. Not a great episode of SmackDown. Raw has been great, so make sure to stop by the YouTube live streams, youtube.com/CODWrestlePod, because Raw has been great, and the live stream makes it even greater. So please stop by for that. And then for everything else for the podcast, it's at CODWrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree. Take it to all of our social medias. Please like, follow, subscribe, share. We're confident that you'll love our kind of wrestling content. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.